We've had a couple instances of empty syringes going to the floor for the NICU, and that's a big problem. Not only because the child didn't get the dose they need, but empty is really the wrong word for it. It's not that they're empty, it's that they're full of air. And injecting air into an IV line can have pretty serious, potentially fatal consequences. So I've got two syringes, IV and oral. And this is a picture that would be analogous to what the pharmacist sees on dispense prep screen. And I don't know if you can tell from this photo which one of those has liquid in it and which one doesn't. You might be able to tell with a reference, but certainly if it were by itself, you'd have no idea from the photo. And then also with these, these, once they're in this bag, it's almost impossible to tell just by looking at these two. So the fix for that, technicians or whoever's going to be drawing this up, with these 1 ml syringes, the barrel is so small that the surface tension of the drug traps air in there a lot more easily. So the best thing to do is we get used to drawing back to inject air into the vial to counteract back pressure. If you're drawing 1 ml or less, there's no reason to worry about that. Just keep it zeroed out, right? Enter your vial, draw down way past the mark of whatever you need to draw up. You will see the slug of air from the needle and the hub come into the syringe, as well as liquid from the vial. Go ahead and expel back to 0. So you've expelled all of that air and liquid, and then draw back down past your dose again until there's no contrast left. You'll be able to see all of the air exit. Keep your needle submerged in the liquid the whole time so you can see the air bubbles come through the liquid, and then you've got all your air expelled. Once again, draw past your mark and then push back up to your dose, and then you can twist off your cap and put on your tamper cap. That way we've got a completely air-free, correct dose of caffeine citrate. It's super important too because it's usually a very small amount of fluid that's going in that syringe, so it's completely possible to just draw air in unless you draw way past and make sure that you get that contrast of fluid and air into the syringe so you can see. As far as pharmacists checking, probably the easiest way to check. Liquids are not compressible and air is, so if there's liquid in the syringe, just give it a push and it'll stay on its mark. If there's air in there, it's gonna move. So that's a quick check for pharmacists instead of just doing a visual. You've got a tactile response there. You can do it with the oral ones too. I would just say a caveat to that is make sure that you keep your finger on there so that you're not spraying caffeine all over the place. But between those two things, that should verify that we get an accurate air-free dose up there for NICU babies. So that's my Tricky Tuesday.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, thanks.